to the channel. I know it's been a really long time since I last posted a video, and I'm really sorry. But I'm back now, and I'm just going to give you a quick update on kind of what's been going on the past few weeks since I've been gone. So a few weeks ago, my grandmother was scheduled for a total hip replacement, and she had been needing this done for several years. In the past, I would say year to year and a half, she really declined in being able to walk and just get out of the house. In December, my grandfather died, and that was her husband, and he, she had to really put off surgery so that she could take care of him, because she really wasn't able to recover while he was sick. And so when he passed away, after she grieved, it got to the point when he passed away that she was just miserable. She wasn't able to get out. She wasn't able to really hardly even get out of bed on her own. And it was just getting really bad. And after some long arguments with her, I finally talked her into, going and seeing a surgeon and just meeting one and seeing what he says. Maybe this isn't going to be as bad as she thought it would be. And all that time we had thought that it was her knee that was causing her so many issues, and finally I was able to talk her into going to the surgeon. He was actually the best hip and knee replacement surgeon in the state, and it took a long time for us to be able just to get in to see him, and I think we waited almost 4 months before we got an appointment with him. And he, did an MRI and things, and he told her that her knee was not the problem, it was her hip, and she really needed a hip replacement. So, after she met him, she was more keen on the idea. She really liked him. He was super nice, and he really knew what he was doing. So finally, she decided that she was going to go through with the surgery, because really there was no other option for her. She was just very sick. I mean, she was sick and tired mostly of just not being able to do anything. She used to be able to raise a garden and go outside and do things, and she just hadn't been able to do that in years. And so finally, a couple weeks ago, she had the surgery. And so that's kind of where I have been. I have been down the street with her at her home, helping her rehab and recover. And that's kind of part of being the nurse in the family, is more than everybody else when it comes to medical things, and they would rather have you there than anybody else. So what ended up happening was, for the past almost 3 weeks now, I have been with her 12 hours a day, every day, and that has really taken up my time. I really just haven't been able to film videos, and even with the fish, I've been here to feed and do water changes, and that's really all I've been able to do. I haven't been as active on Instagram, which I apologize for, but I'm working on it. I'm getting back in the swing of things. She is finally able to stay by herself. Now we just have to call and check on her and go check up on her and make sure that she's got her meds and things lined out. But so far she's done really well, and I appreciate your guys' thoughts and prayers, all of you that knew what was going on. But she is doing well, and she is recovering. She just actually got to walk on her own Monday without any precautions, and that was amazing to see. It had been a long time since I was able to see her walk on her own without pain. So that was awesome. But on to that, so just some things that have happened in the couple weeks that I really haven't been able to talk about. You guys already knew that I went to the Louisville Goldfish and Koi show Memorial Day weekend, and Z did win the Atlanta Koi and Goldfish Show Friendship Award, which is right here. I got this several weeks ago, but I haven't really got to show you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen this, but this is my first actual award for showing goldfish, and it's basically an award. A lot of the Atlanta club was there visiting, and the Goldfish Club members took a look at all the fish, and it was more so about which one spoke to them, and out of all of the fish they picked my little Z, and they said that he was special, he was stunning, and he was just the favorite of the group. And so they gave me the Friendship Award for the Atlanta Club. And I was very thankful for it. And unfortunately, I keep saying he was because, as you know, he did jump at the show out of the net and he fell. And the last time I believe I talked with you guys, I was still trying to help him recover. And I truly believe that I did everything I could. But 2 weeks of trying to help him and trying to get him back to his normal self wasn't working, and he ended up getting worse. And unfortunately, on June 10th, I had to euthanize Z, and he is no longer with me. He is buried just outside in the fishy cemetery, as my parents call it. All the fish that I have lost over the years are buried there. He has a stone with his name on it and everything. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you've already saw it because I posted it there. That was really depressing. I rescued Z with Malachi last July, and I raised him, and he was just, I think of all the losses I've had over the years with fish, I think, he was the hardest. Keeping goldfish 20 years now. This year will make 20 years that I've kept goldfish, and it seems unreal. Like, that one hurt me really bad. Almost as bad as losing my first goldfish, who lived 14 years. That one was really, really hard. But Z was a close second to that. But I still, I had to come to peace with my decision. I knew that he just wasn't getting any better, and it was honestly getting to the point that I was becoming selfish for keeping him alive. So I euthanized him, and he went very, very quickly, peacefully, and now he is buried outside of the house. So that was rough, but I think the day after my grandmother had surgery, and that helped me focus on something else, so I wasn't just here staring at all these aquariums and being depressed. But as for that, that's kind of the somber news. Also, with the fry, there was a big thing on Instagram over me selling the fry. I was it was like a big smear campaign, and I don't even know what the problem was to begin with. It was just a big deal, and it honestly was just childish for the people that were involved, and I'm not even going to go there, because it's over and it doesn't matter anymore. When people bash you for rescuing fish and then raising them and then trying to give them new homes, that really just shows what kind of character those people have. They obviously didn't have anything better to do with their life, and I guess I was their target, and now they've moved on to somebody else. So after that was said and done, the 2 golf ball pearl scales, I'm happy to say, were rehomed. They are now in Wisconsin with Dusty. So Dusty, if you're watching, thank you for taking them. I'm sure that they have wonderful homes with you. I do still have the other three. I moved them last night into a 40-gallon breeder so that I could put Knight and Comet back into the pond. Knight has gotten freakishly large, and he can't live in the 40 anymore. He's too big. So I switched them out, and I have decided that I'm gonna keep the little Aranda. I've kind of gotten attached to him. So I think I'm gonna keep him and see how he grows. He's already a fat little thing, but we'll see. And my mother is of course attached to the Blackmore, so I mean, I don't think I would have ever sold him anyway just because she wouldn't let me. So they're just gonna stick around for a while, which is fine with me because honestly, when you have them several months, you do kind of get attached to them. I tried really hard not to, but I did anyway. But in other news, over the weekend, the newest thing that happened was over the weekend, I got a notification on Facebook. And for those of you that have Facebook, there's a Facebook marketplace. And so when other members have things for sale, they can post it. And for me, when there's anything with an aquarium, I get notified. And this particular thing happened this past Sunday. An aquarium was posted for sale and I got a notification, and it was a 60 or 65 gallon tank, and it was posted, and I think at first it was listed for $200 or $250. It came with the tank, the stand, gravel, decorations, ornaments, canister filter, and a bunch of other miscellaneous things. And I saw it and I was like, it's a really nice aquarium, but I do not have $250 to just throw at this thing. And I honestly wasn't even looking for another aquarium. I hadn't thought about it. So I went on with my day. I was helping my grandmother do things, and my phone went off 4 or 5 hours later. I got another notification that the aquarium that I had viewed had dropped in price. And I was like, okay, I'll look at it. And then when I saw what it dropped to, I was just in shock. The guy that had the aquarium lived about 40-45 miles away from me, and he was moving. Him and his family were moving into a different house, and they had hired movers to get rid of their furniture and things. And apparently they had to be out by 6 p.m. that Sunday. And the movers came and they told him that they weren't going to move the aquarium, that there was something in the contract that wouldn't allow them to move live animals or something to do with that, and he couldn't do it. So I was like, okay. He made it very clear that whoever bought the aquarium had to pick it up the same day. So I was like, it's interesting. And then, the price made it all worth it because he was selling this thing for $50, and I honestly could not believe it. So I called my parents and I'm like, hey, there's this aquarium, and I sent them pictures, and they're like, you don't need another aquarium, where are you going to put it? Because that's what they do every time I say I want an aquarium. And then they saw what it was listed for, and they're like, that's really cheap. And I'm like, that's because he's got to get rid of it now. If I tell him I want this, we have to go now and get it. So I asked my dad first because he had a truck, and you have to have a truck to haul this thing. So he's like, I don't care if you want it, whatever. And I was really shocked because he is always the one that tends to fuss about the aquariums, but he did not that day, probably because he had just had a round of kidney stones and he just wasn't in the mood to argue with me. So he gave me the okay, and we went and got the thing. And actually, for y'all that don't know, I hate canister filters. I despise them. I will not ever have one. And this one came with one. It came with a Fluval 306, I think. And I ended up selling it yesterday and some other miscellaneous things. And I actually now, basically, I've got the whole thing for like 15 bucks. I've got 15 bucks in it. So that's pretty awesome. But I will show you that later. It's sitting in my bedroom because I don't have anywhere else to put it. The fish room is completely maxed out. I tried every possible way to get it in here, and there's just not anywhere to put it. So I had to rethink this. You know, there's 4 aquariums in here, plus the pond. There's 2 aquariums in my kitchen. There's 1 in my living room. You know, I'm running out of space. And so finally I was able to move my my bedroom around enough to get it in there, and that's where it's gonna be. I basically just cleaned it out. There's nothing in it. I got rid of the gravel. It was blue and it was ugly and I didn't like it. And so I basically just cleaned it out, and it's sitting empty, and I'm gonna let it for a while, just because I want to kill anything that was in there that wasn't supposed to be. So it's gonna sit dry for a while, and then hopefully by then I'll have enough money to start doing some things with it. I would like to get 2 Aqua Clear 70s. That's what I run all my tanks on anyway. They're the best option. And new substrate, a background, and it did come with lights, but they're hoods, and I'm not real fond of hoods. I really like glass tops. So I decided that I was going to order a glass canopy and Marineland lights that snap into the inside of the tanks, which is what all my tanks have. I like them very, very well. I really, really like them. So that's what I'm kind of waiting on. We'll see how it goes. As soon as I start doing anything with it, I'll bring you guys along. But that's kind of all I have for today. I was just giving you guys an update on kind of where I've been and why I've been gone. But I'm back now, and hopefully I'll be able to start putting out videos regularly. But until then, thank you guys for being patient with me, and I'll see y'all next time.